Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, markets. So, the altcoins have been filling out. The very good sign is we're just chilling where our all-time high is with Bitcoin and the market cap. Yeah, Bitcoin's at 4, but I mean, it's fucking chilling. It's got a bed at the 4. Bitcoin Cash is going down, so whatever that was kind of basically, you know, there was a lot that went behind that, the Bitcoin Cash, because there were a lot of big names pretty much saying that it was the real Bitcoin, and it just, on top of, you know, maybe some big money behind it, trying to make some kind of last ditch hurrah. It's going to be around. I mean, it's here. It's out here. But I just think that at the end of the day, if you listen to my video from yesterday, censorship is easier to demolish than just actual centralization. Because censorship, you know, it's coming by some fucking computer programmers. They're not Genghis Khan, guys. And I get a lot of questions just basically every day. One of the big ones is like, when do I think a coin price is going to go up? Because there's a lot of people who, you know, I mean, if you've had a lot of these altcoins, you know, some of the new ones are blessing. But, you know, if you've invested from back in the day, and the same thing's going to happen to the altcoins now, some of the altcoins at least, like that's what happens. Coins fell out a bit. You know, basic attention token was 3.5 cents. So, you know, being at 20 cents, that's not bad. And it's going to continue to grow, obviously, but people are just so damn impatient. And I can understand, like, people say, okay, well, when's the price going higher? What you might as well be asking, that's basically saying, like, I'm low on money and I need to know when I can take a profit. And I know people don't. You know, if they were actually saying that out loud, they'd probably have a heart attack because they would never say that. But you can tell a lot by someone's intentions, by the questions they ask. And it's okay. Like, just be real, right? Just be real with yourself. And you got to understand that, see, the cool thing about me is you can come up to me and go, hey, Dan, when's the price no limit coin coming up? And I can pretty much tell you. You know why? Because I'm putting in a bunch of work. Did no limit coin come hire me? Nah, I was never hired. I just kind of showed up one day making a lot of noise. And then one day they're like, well, damn, Dan didn't show up and we're missing all the noise. We need Dan. And that's kind of what you do. You make yourself indispensable. And this is some rare tidbit advice that I'm going to give that I'll actually label advice. But basically, just because I get a lot of emails about, and you got to understand, the emails are going to come from beginners, right? A lot of the, you know, I'm not discouraging any, you know, advanced people to message me, but I'm just saying that a lot of the emails I do get are from, and messages I do get are from beginners asking beginner questions. And one of the things that helped me out the most was when you're a beginner, you have to you gotta look at the world from your own eyes and where you are, and you got to be humble. You got to stop looking at everybody else, what everybody else has. You got to understand what you have and what you have to work with. And if you have limited resources, you got to use. So money's one resource. Money's one resource, right? Yeah, you need money, but money's not everything, because, you know, we've seen expensive projects fail. You need a team, right? So you got to kind of sharpen who you are as a human. Some people might think that they aren't capable. They might think that basically, you know, they have a lot of growing up to do. And the fact is, you got to grow into yourself. It's like you got to become that weapon. Like that's the most important thing. A lot of people don't. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just a lot of people, you can tell they don't work on themselves, right? Okay, so if we were a weapon, right, it would be very evident who was not sharpening themselves. You get that? Because you're going to see a bunch of dull blades walking around. And it's going to be so obvious that they're dull blades. It's a little harder to see that with the human because we have spirit, we have the mind, we have a lot of self-will. There's a lot underneath that you can't see, right? So that's where people can get away with seeming sharp, but really deep down they're dull. And that's a very important thing, because if you're not constantly working on yourself, you're degrading. See, that's the thing about life. If you go to some other videos, I talk about this. You're not staying the same. You're either growing or you're dying. You're getting better or you're getting worse. There is no stagnant, right? What happens if you stagnate? If you trap water, it bubbles and it becomes rotten and toxic. That means no matter what. So that means even if you are staying at the same place, you're becoming toxic. So it becomes a negative. So there's no, you're either growing or dying. And a lot of people are just slowly letting themselves die because they don't work on themselves every day. And I mean, work on yourself. Like, you have to treat yourself like a weapon. You have to pick it up. You have to sharpen it. You have to show it love. Like, you have to wake up. You have to meditate. You have to get the water inside your body. You got to get the right nutrients. You got to work out. You got to use your body. If you're not working out, you're telling your body, hey, man, we don't need to use these muscles anymore. Bet, you can fucking piss them off. And we don't need, we don't move around a lot. So we don't need, we don't need all this to be flexible. And then before you know it, you're going to be lording on fat because that's what the body wants. The body's a fat building machine. It's not a muscle building machine. The body actually hates muscle. It takes about 5 times more calories to maintain a muscle mass than it does fat. So the body looks as muscle as like this super fancy, like, damn, man, it takes up all our fucking resources. Fat doesn't take up shit, and the body loves fat because without fat, you die. The fat is the body's reserve energy. It's like the world reserve dollar right now. Like the fat is, that's kind of a cool analogy if you think about it, because, nobody wants fat, nobody wants the dollar, but it is your world reserve. Like without it right now, we'd collapse. So basically, that's as far as that analogy goes, because once you branch off, it doesn't make sense, but we'll just keep it there. But basically, a lot of people, it's like you can just be getting out there, going and finding some of these cheaper coins, some of these newer ICOs, something, right? And then you can get on, and another problem is people ask for stuff, right? People come on and they want to ask for something. Like, you don't ask for shit. You go on and you say, hey, I like the project. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? And you know what? You're going to eat a lot of shit. You're going to do a lot of stuff for free. You're going to do a lot of stuff that you think you should have got paid more for. And those are the feelings that keep you from being wealthy. Those are feelings. Do you understand? That's you getting caught up in your pride, your emotions. You can't get caught up in that shit if you want to become wealthy. You have to have your goal, and you have to understand this is what I have to do to get there. And if I have to eat shit and do stuff for free and do things where I'm underappreciated over and over and over again, then that's what I have to do, because the day I stop is the day I don't get to my goals. And too many people are too damn prideful, too damn humble, too damn proud to fucking do something, roll up their sleeves and do something for free, thinking, oh, I ain't no punk, I ain't gonna work for free. Like, that's the same broke ass mindset that's gonna keep most of the fucking people in this world broke, because nobody sees the bigger picture. You gotta work. You don't know how many hours and how many things I've done for free, didn't get paid anything. You don't understand. I started with just going out and doing whatever I could, and then eventually people gravitate towards that, because people are like, man, look at this guy. This guy's a go-getter. He's helping. He ain't asking for shit. And then they're going to start giving you stuff. And then people are going to start asking for you. And then people are going to start begging for you. And then you're going to be in a power position. That's what you have to do, though. You have to create value. Ask yourself this. Who the fuck are you? Who knows who you are? Nobody. Nobody knows who you are. Maybe your mama, maybe your pops, maybe your brother, maybe your sister, but not a lot of people know who you are. So who the fuck are you demanding all this value when you haven't even made a name for yourself, when you haven't even done anything, when you haven't created any value for anybody? You haven't had one person say, hey, I appreciate what you did. You have to really look at it. So a lot of people, I don't understand. They want to use excuses. They want to say, I got 9 to 5s. I can't do this. I can't do that. So what you're basically saying is my slave labor job for bullshit fiat is more important to me than my financial freedom. That's all you're saying, because your statements and questions, you can see through them into your real beliefs, because people, they're not psychologically deep like that, because they don't hone themselves. They don't sharpen themselves. Like every day you got to meditate. Every day you got to think inside. Every day you got to battle yourself on the inside, ask yourself questions, attack yourself. You got to be your own hater. You got to be your worst enemy. You got to always be at yourself. You got to be your shadow. You got to be the one that's trying to bring you down while bringing yourself up at the exact same time. You got to be ready. You got to be constantly fighting a battle on the inside, because when the battles on the outside come, you're battle tested. If you never constantly question yourself, if you're always running from the truth, if you always want to hear the good things, if you're always running from the bad things, when the bad things come, you're going to cringe and you're going to fumble and you're going to fall, and when people need you the most, you're not going to be there because you can't even be there for yourself. This shit runs deeper than crypto. A lot of people just want to learn the crypto. That's the big thing I learned that I find funny. The thing that costs no money, that's the most important, is the thing people want to overlook, because people are so, it's just like building a house. People are so fucking already picking out the windows and the color and the tile, and they don't even give a fuck about the foundation. And without the foundation, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. The bigger the house, the harder the fall. The bigger the shit, the more responsibility, the more money you get, the harder you fall, because you can't handle it. I guarantee it. You hear more money, more problems. People don't understand there's a reason for that, because when you have money, you become a target from your family, from your friends, from everywhere. And not only that, you got the people. It's much easier to want and be desperate and needy and claw for the money. I need the money. I need the money. I need the money. It's much easier to be in that. It's fucking much easier. You know why? Because it takes no goddamn responsibility to be in that mode. It takes another whole emotion, another whole circumference to have it all and say, well, fuck, how do I not lose it? Because that's the other spear. That's the other end of that shit. Once you have it, then the fear of losing it comes in. There's always a singular fear, like a sword that strikes from the bottom to the top. The bottom being when you're broke and needing it and desperate, and then all the way to the top when you have it and you're like, oh fuck, what happens now? What happens if this happens? That's the thing. Like, you have to master it from the beginning, from the handle. You have to have a strong handle so the blade doesn't come flying off and you cut some motherfucker's head off because you ain't ready. You have to be ready. And that is your base. That is getting to know who you are, wearing what you are on your sleeve, not giving a fuck, being best friends with your low self. That's your best. You have to be friends with your depression. You have to be friends with your sad times, with the hard times, with the bad memories. You have to think of those things all the time. You have to relive them all the time. I know it's painful. I know it sounds psycho, but over time, you get used to that shit. And you're saying, this ain't nothing. I'm battle tested. I can handle this, because you embrace the emotions like you do weather. You go outside and you feel the sunshine. It feels nice, right? You go outside, you feel the rain, and it feels nice, right? That's you experiencing emotions on your own terms. Not being controlled in your emotion is like being caught out in the sun without sunscreen. Now your emotions are hitting you and you're not prepared. You don't want it. You know, not being prepared for your emotions, like getting caught in a rainstorm without your umbrella, or you're in a situation where you don't want to get wet. Now you're trying to run from the emotion, right? You have to be able to flip that and make it to where, you know, you're sunbathing. You're getting the water on your face and it's cool and it's refreshing, right? And it's just a mental shit. All philosophy, it all gets bigger, higher. Your mental stage keeps getting higher. You don't understand it. So it's like a program in your mind, and your world is your philosophy right now, but that can be unlocked and a wall could crash down and you can see further and you're like, oh wow, okay, this is a new life I'm living. I understand this now. It's a new awareness I'm on, right? And then the other wall breaks down. Oh, wow. Now look out there. I can see and understand more, right? And I don't know how many walls, right? And it just keeps going and going and going. And, you know, every day the goal is to try to knock down one of those walls and trying to see farther and understand and have a better sense of life. And, you know, there's no manual to it. You're not going to say, oh, I understand life 76%.5. No, it's not going to work that way. You're just going to have an innate, more of a well-being and more of a peace when a lot of people experience a lot of turmoil. And that's the thing, like these prices, people who jumping in this game, man, they ain't emotionally ready at all. They're looking at the scoreboard. I couldn't imagine living life like that, constantly looking at ups and downs and what's this and that. If you're asking yourself when the price is going to go up, that means that you think it has potential to go up. So that's probably a buy opportunity, right? So you have to ask yourself, you start using your emotions and start using your questions to your advantage. The questions you're asking, flip them and try to answer them yourself. And then you're saying, well, if it's down right now, and I'm thinking if it's a good, you know, if I'm thinking that, you know, I don't want to sell right now, maybe I should buy more. That's a feeling that you think the price is going to go up. So maybe you should do some more research on that. Don't just ask the question and expect an answer. Ask the question and answer it yourself. Try to answer it yourself. I mean, you don't understand. That's the only way. Like, I'm just some fucking dude on the YouTube, right? Yeah, you might listen to me and all that, but like I could be gone tomorrow, guys. Like, I'm just trying to be real. Like, I don't want people. I know people get like this attached syndrome where they rely too heavily on other people. Take from me what you will, add it to your own shit, man, and then move forward, right? Like, don't replace your philosophy with my philosophy. This is my life. I could be ass fucking wrong, right? Don't just, just because I sound confident and I believe in what I say doesn't mean it's right. It's right in my world. So just really, this is a time where you're going to see a lot of hawks. We're at the beginning. We're at the 1%, guys. That's what we don't understand. I'm trying to prepare y'all for the storm because there's going to be a lot of people that come out and they're going to believe what they say and they're going to sound confident and you're going to believe in what they say. And, there's going to be a lot of bad things that happen because when there's this much money, especially dumb money, a lot of this is dumb money. A lot of people don't really know what they're doing. That's a breeding ground for people just to get fucked. So just really... That's the thing. That's how you avoid ever getting really screwed over totally, is when you can kind of come up with your own base. Like, look at a coin before, what I like to do? I like to find a coin, and before I do any research on it from YouTube or anything like that, I like to go to the website. I like to go and get into Slack, like get my own opinion first. Get my own opinion first. And then you can go to your well-respected YouTubers that you listen to and kind of see how they feel about the matter. And then if you agree, cool. But if you don't agree, it's not the end of the world. Don't change your mind, right? Only change your mind if they make so much valid points that you're like, okay, because you don't want to be stubborn. If they're like, hey, man, you were wrong. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, I can see that. That's another thing. A lot of coins are going down right now while Populous down. My bit was up over $6. I don't know what I think it's $5 last time I checked it. $5.30. Yeah. So in the ICO, we were getting it for fucking super cheap with the bonus. 2 rules in life, man. Never pay sticker price and never follow the fucking rules. You understand? That's why, I don't know. I'm getting these insane bonuses on these ICOs because I'm putting in the fucking work to get them. Holler at next month. Such a big fucking month next month. Oh my god, the fucking big ass home run I've been talking about this whole time for all these months. People waiting in anticipation. I've been waiting. Yeah, I have no idea. I already know what it is. There's the beta. Everything's good to go. But the team's just so goddamn professional. They want everything to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect before the beta goes up and all that. And it's going to be towards the end of next month. There's going to be like a little public pre-sale. And then following that, there's going to be the ICO. But yeah, man, super, super, super excited. Some of the people already got the name who are in the Slack. Accidentally, well, they got the initials for it at least. Accidentally slipped up. But it's fine. It's unreleased. But it is the most groundbreaking. Because what right now is live is the beta that you're going to be able to use. But that's just like, I can't even, you're going to be like Mega Man, motherfucker. That's all I can say. If you just take that as you will. Take that as you will. That's all I'm saying. I can't. That's the thing. I've come too far to spill the beans right now. I've come too far. I've been so tight-lipped for so long. I can't spill the beans right before. Because, we have a strategy, and just know I'm super, 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 super excited, and it's fucking a walk-off. Big, big swing for me, for sure. It's the big swing that I've been talking about. Nothing has changed. I've just gotten more excited over time. It's kind of like Christmas. We're definitely seeing a red market, which is fine. Fiat red, it's all good. Right now, it's just kind of like the only thing stopping really everything from just absolutely booming is the fact that this fucking Bitcoin fiasco shit going on. I mean, I don't know, because it's kind of shitty, man. If you think about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, it's kind of like two people running for president and they just slander the fuck out of each other. That's all they do. Is just attack and attack. So it's not good for Bitcoin as a whole because you have two public entities just attacking each other, trying to create a civil war. Bitcoin Cash wants everybody to hit Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been actually a little bit more elegant. But basically, obviously they want Bitcoin Cash to fail. It's never been as direct of a competition ever. There's never been such a direct competition. Not even Ethereum versus EOS. Nothing's more. This is like, fuck you, guy. I'm moving right next door, and I'm going to be making loud noises next door, and you're going to have to hear them. That's what happened with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. They have the same fucking symbol. They both have Bitcoin in their name. It's just, it's like the biggest fucking, it's just crazy. I don't see, the one reason I dislike Bitcoin Cash was because of what they did. It's like, okay, so they didn't get their way, so they're going to go ahead and break off, and they say, yeah, let the market decide. But the only problem is it's hurting cryptocurrency. Like, I don't know. I think overall it's setting cryptocurrency back from mainstream adoption just because it seems like it's unfucking organized and a clusterfuck. And people don't understand. Like, I have so many questions. People are like, is there going to be a third Bitcoin then? It's like, fuck, man, you already got these fucking fishies scared about another Bitcoin coming out. It's, you know, it's just not, I don't know. The good thing was we survived because people like don't have anything else. Like, they're forced in the cryptocurrency right now. Like, it's just kind of like people are on the cliff. These are people on the cliff and they're just being pushed off because, you know, the fiat world and the jobs, like the stock market's about to, you know, the end of this year, everyone's predicting, I'm predicting there's going to be a stock crash. When there's that much prediction going on in the stock world, usually people just get, you know, fudded out anyway and fucking dip out. And there's nothing hotter than cryptocurrencies. You know, nothing's moving like crypto. You know, Bitcoin is $4,000 today, guys. It's funny how content we get. It was at first when it would rise, we were all happy, and then at the end, you know, it's kind of like it's 4,000. People are like, oh, it's 4,000. You know, like it's standard. That's a good mindset. That's a rich mindset. That's a wealthy mindset if you can adopt that, because it's always like, you know, when you get what, it's always nice to be on a goal, and then you think at one point what was a large sum amount of money that later on you get at one time, and it's kind of like not even anything anymore. That's the sign that you're growing. Also, it's a sign that you must be more thankful. So it's two sides to that. You know, always got to be thankful for what you have, but it's also nice to realize that you've gotten that quote unquote desperation or putting money on a pedestal, because when you're looking at large sums of money and it feels like nothing and you're treating it like nothing, that's when it flows. No friction, you know, it's just easy access. But it's real easy to get become a douchebag. So you got to definitely become more thankful and appreciate what you have. On that note, I'm going to kill it because I have a meeting in 6 minutes. So cheers. Peace.